Hi, welcome to another Adalo tutorial. So it's an exciting new journey for me with Adalo right now. Shooting videos about Adalo, but I'm back. I've been shooting videos about FlutterFlow and Bubble, but I'm back to Adalo now. So I think Adalo has made considerable improvements now. It's yeah, improvements. I think they have a lot of things cooking, so you're gonna be seeing a whole lot of improvement in Adalo. Things like responsive design. You know, So today I want to build an app that people have requested a whole lot. How do you build a subscription application in Adalo? So the way it is, it's you're building this, and users are able to subscribe for a while, and at the end of the month, if they're not paying, then you just stop them from using the application. So this is what we're going to build. I mean, within now and the next 25-40 minutes. It's a very simple application. So you can see this is the recipe, and this is a search bar on top. So you can see, let's just do a search pizza. You can see that we have these two, and that's a pizza already. You have the like button and the share button over here, and that's super cool. And then also we have this. When we click on this, you can see how cozy it is. Super awesome. But this is free. But when we click on this, if this person is not free, so it says, hey, come on, you have to join the premium. So that particular content is paid for, it's not free. So it's telling the person you have to join the premium for you to access this particular content. And when the person click on this, we have this, and you put your debit card, and you're able to, you put your debit card and you're able to subscribe. And when the person subscribes, you're able to buy stuff, and you're able to read as many things as possible. So this can work for a lot of application, different application like this. It can work for a whole lot of applications. It depends on the industry where you are. So for any application that requires you to hide content, hide anything before, then they have to subscribe before they use it. Super awesome. I mean, it works really, really great. And then we have the block section over here. This you can read anything, so there's nothing is hidden over here, but you can also hide this. And then we have the profile screen over here. We have the profile screen over here, and it's super easy, super simple, right? This is a very simple application, not too complex, but this is the basics of creating anything that has. Then another thing that I implemented in this application is that if I go back to the database, you would see that I'm using external collections for the list. So for the list, I'm using external collections. The reason why I'm doing this is because I do need speed. And so I could use that external collection, I used Airtable. I used Airtable for it. So this is the Airtable here. I'm showing you how to do this. So I used Airtable. The reason I used Airtable is because I'm going to be calling all the data from the API, and it's super, super fast compared to calling it from Adalo itself. Adalo can be a bit slow because it's a shared database. So other options for you is to use Zeno. So if you have the Adalo team plan, you can use Zeno, or you can also use Supabase. You can use Supabase to do this. Supabase is great, has a whole lot of features compared to Airtable. Supabase is like, awesome database as a service. So let me show those to you. I so love Supabase because you can do a whole lot more with Supabase than you can do with Airtable. Airtable, yeah, it's a database, yes, definitely. But Supabase just gives you everything. Gives you database, authentication, storage, functions, a whole lot. You can write your own custom functions on Supabase. You can build things like this, chart application, Kanban boards, subscription application. So Supabase just takes a whole lot of things for you, and you can see the price. You can start from zero, and then you can go all the way to $25, which is more affordable when compared to Zeno. And then we're using Airtable also. So you really don't need poor experience to learn to take this tutorial right here, but I think you should know the basics of Adalo, like how database work, how to connect APIs, a few things like that, and you'll be good. So we're just going to be designing very few screens, not a lot of screens here, not a lot of screens. I just want you to see the logic. Now lock screen. So this template, it's available. If you're a member of my community, you'll get the template for free. If you're a member of my community, You get it for free. So you find the link below for you to join the community and get it for free. Yeah, you get it, and you'll get other templates and any other premium tutorial that I'm shooting. I leave it on the community, and you just find it there. And you can also interact with other people who are building great stuff on the internet. So let's get started with building this. So I'm going to create new application. Say create new app. I'm just going to create a native application. I'm going to create native application, and I'm just going to go with blank. And I'm going to say recipe X, and I'm just going to choose customers, team. Don't worry. And then I want to choose the primary and secondary color. To do this, I'm going to use colors right here. So I'm going to use colors and just pick. Full is kind of red all the time, but I'm just going to I'm not going to pick red this time. I'm going to pick this color. I'm going to pick this color and go back here and just paste it here. Then my secondary color, I'm going to pick the one at the extreme, this one. Come back here and paste it in here. So the thing is that when you're building your application, you really want to use colors sparingly. I mean, don't use colors, you know, use colors every time and, everywhere, every part of the application. Use it sparingly. One color is enough for you to build your entire application. So I always use one color in my application all the time. So this is my screen. The first thing I'm going to create the onboarding screen, and I'm also going to change the font of my application. So I'll go to my branding, look at my font, and my heading font. I will change it to is there Inter. I'll change it to Inter. It's going to be my heading font, my body font. I'm going to change it to a sans. I'm going to change it to Mansera. Okay, Substance Pro. So because I think it's a whole lot more legible and more user friendly. So I'm going to add an image in the onboarding screen, put it here, put it right here, and I'm going to add an image I'll just upload it. So you can add a link if you want to, but right here, I'm just going to upload this particular image. So this is the same image I used in the application, and I'm going to drag it down. I'm going to drag it down that way and just put it here. So if you look at the image, I purposely made the bottom half of the image white. That's how I made it. And the reason why I'm leaving this on top is just it's called save, so that depending on the device, this can float to the top or it can remain this way. So it's just save space for me. So I'm going to put a first button. I'm going to add another button to it. So one is going to be login, and the other one is going to be, I'll make this an outline button, and this is going to be login, and this other one is going to be sign up. The reason why the login is subtool is because you a whole lot of persons to come to your application, new persons to come to your application, and when they come in, you want them to sign up into your application. So now we want to deal with responsive. We want to make this responsive. So what we want to do, because somehow if you notice that sometimes you build an Adalo app, and when you put it to the app store, it's just it's all over the place. So what you want to do, you want to be grouping things all the time. So I'm going to add this to and make it a group. Yeah. And I'm going to click the image and click this one and make it a group too. So now we have all this thing here. It's a group. So this will make sure that it doesn't, this will make sure that all this doesn't. So that's what you do with groups. So the next thing is to just connect the button. So we connect this, put an action on this button and link it to the sign up. You don't have to worry about animation at this stage. We just do that later. Link it to the login page, and that's all you have to do over there. And the next thing we want to do page. So this is where we have the list of items on the home page. So first, let's put a menu. Let's put a menu on the home page. So you'll find there's a navigation, bottom nav. So we just put this, and we will take away the fifth, take away the fifth, the third, and the second is going to be the blog. So you can change it to a note. Change this to a note. And the last one is going to be the profile, and the first one is going to be the menu. So for the menu, you can change it to full menu, like so. So that's fine. And the next thing is to put in a search in here. Put in that's a list in here, and put in a list. So we'll find this card list. This is fine. And scroll to them and say allow search. So just allow search. You can customize this card yourself, but I just want it to be fast, and so that's the reason why we're using the default. So here we'll say one single column, and this is fine. One single column like so, and it's okay. And then we will arrange it and bring it to the back. So the reason we'll bring it to the back is so we can show this menu. That's the reason why we'll bring it to the back. You can extend it as much as you want. And then let's go to the juice of the tutorial, which is our database. So we have our database, which is the user. And on the user database, we have to be able to check if this user is subscribed or not. So we'll add a true or false value and say subscribed. So this is going to be a Boolean value. So if the person is subscribed, you want something to happen. If they are not subscribed, you want something to. And then also we want to add another collection, an external collection from our Airtable. So click on here and say, this is going to add us an external collection. This is where we're going to put in our recipe. And then we need a base URL. We need to authenticate the header. So let's go back to our recipe application. So you can see that our application here have two collections. We have the recipe and then the blog post collection right here. So what you want to do is to create a base, an Airtable base, and then name it accordingly. So I have the name, which is a single text. I have a description, which is not simple. Let me take you down to the other way. I have price, which is a select. So you can see this is a select. This is a multiple select. The category. So I have ingredients, I have cook time, I have 7, and then I have photos, I have status, I have direction. So the reason why we have status here is so that you can only show the item where the status is published. If it's in review by you, so you don't get to post it. If it's in draft, you don't get to post that particular item. So how did I add the description? Okay, gonna take this away. Just gonna hide this. So click on the add. I would say add long test, and I would call this a test. I'll just call this test, and I would say enable rich text formatting. So the reason why this is very important is that it's so that Adalo will be able to recognize your heading, your bold, your slant, your color, any of those stuff. Adalo will be able to recognize it. And how do you do this? This is select. So to do this, you go scroll down and just call it a select, single select, add the name, and then add your select options over here. So that's how you do it. Also, it's the same thing for the blog, title, post, image, and draft, and status. Same thing for the blog. So the next thing you do is to go find your email documentation. Go find your documentation and find your email documentation, grab your API key, and then you're ready to do so. Click on your name, click on Developer Hub. That's how you do it. I just want this to be super fast, and then you can create tokens. So 2 ways you can do this. One of it is that you can create tokens, select the scope. So if you want to create token, you could say, let's say token, add the scope. We would say we want this to be able to create, edit, and delete records. That's fine. And then that's the scope and the base. We'll choose the recipe app as the base and create token. I have a token already, so I don't want to do that. That's the way you do it. And the next thing is that the next type is the API key. You can create an API key right now, but if you look at the message on top, it says API key will be deprecated by the end of 2024, by the end of January 2024. So though in this tutorial, I'm going to use this API key, but you don't have to use the API key. You can use a personal access token, which is awesome. So I'd say choose anyone you like, but it's going to work the same way after all. And then once you're done with that, you would copy and keep your API key. Then you should go back to your Adalo application. Right here, you say authorization value, say bearer, and put in your API key. So this is like your access code to get into your database in Airtable. This is like granting Adalo. Say, Adalo, hey, come on, you can figure out my database in Airtable if you want to. And then we'll go back to our Airtable, click on Web App Documentation. So I'm going to delete this. Yeah, click on Web App Documentation. So this is going to give you a documentation about your own records, your own personal records. That's what it's gonna do for you. So we'll scroll down and say list records. So you can see this is how all the documentation will work. Then we can scroll down, go find our own bases. No, go find our own base. Let's figure that out. Let's see, authentication. Okay. Yeah. So when we click on introduction, you can see the documentation for your own base. We'll click on it. And when we click on it, you can see how to call your own base. So this is the call value for your own base. This is where you find it. And then you just have to scroll down. Don't use this first one. Yeah, it's similar. So this is the call URL. This is the call URL. This is your authorization bearer, your secret API token. So what we want to do is for the token for listing everything in the base, for listing all these records over here. That's what we're doing. So we'll just copy this. We just want to list. That's all we want to do. We just copy this. Just copy this. Come to C. Come back here and just put it. So when you're done with that, click on the next. And then if you click on next and say run test. When you run test, it came, but you should get an error because it brought everything from the base. So what we'll do is that we'll go back again, click on get all, click on our documentation again. And if you see, everything is inside this record. So this is a JSON format and everything that you need is inside these records. So what you do is that you come back here and you'll just type the word records. So this does not happen for every table. In other, this does not happen. This doesn't have to be the same for every integration that you will make. Some it might be cars. It might just be so straightforward, and you don't have to do a lot. So now let's click on run test. If you click on run test, you should be able to. It should be successful, and then you should be able to create your collection. And one thing that I like now that Adalo has done is that it gives you the ability to edit the collection all over again. Before, once you create one collection, once you create an external collection, it just doesn't work at all. I mean, you have to create it again and again and again, which was so terrible. So the next thing we want to do, we want to add a blog collection. That's what we want to do. Go back to our Airtable documentation. Click on the blog, this one, blog post. Click on list records all over again and just copy this. Copy this. Go back to our records. Go back to our records and just paste it. Paste it here. And then here we would say bearer. Click here and say bearer. Let's call this authorization. Yeah, that's what you call this. Call this bearer. Yeah, then paste in your API key. How you do it? You just paste in your API key. Yeah, paste in your, yeah, I paste in my API key. So say Biera, paste in my API key, keep going, next. Then don't forget to add records over here. And that should be done. Click on next, run test, and create collection. So if you are able to do this, you're awesome. I mean, it's been done. Super awesome. This particular message, just delete it. Don't worry, you don't need that. So the next thing we'll do is to display this, is to display all of this. So click on this and it's going to say, what's the list? It's going to be a list of my recipe. And then it's going to be a list of my recipe. And then I'm going to click on my list search. So I'm going to say search recipe. And then I'm going to, I'm going to say search recipe. Is it? Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go to my title instead of my result ID. I'll click on the plus and it's going to be my name. Yeah, it's going to be the name. Yeah. Then for my subtitle, I really do not need a subtitle over here. I really don't want a subtitle for the body. I really don't want a body over here. We'll just, leave it like that and that's fine. And then for the icon, we can add a love icon. Then we can add another icon here, a share and a love icon. That's what we're going to do. So let's preview this and see where we are already. I do not have sign up. Yeah, that's working. So I do not have an account. Test at gmail.com. Say test. Let's say test. And that's what I'm going to do. Sign up. So you can see we have this, but there's no image. Yeah. So we have this, but there's no image. And you can see also we have just three listings here, which is not what we want. So let's just go set up the image first. URL, click here. Let's look for the image. I think it should be this. Okay, yeah, that's it. So let's go back to our recipe. Click on edit setting. And here you can see that it's saying record equals to 3. So let's make this 100. This right there, make it 100. The reason why you make it 100 is because run test is because Airtable can only return 100 records from Adalo at once. So let's go back to our edit setting and make it a record 100. That's what it can do. It can return 100 records, and you just want to make use of the entire 100. Don't worry, it's super fast. It's really, really fast because your app is not handling anything, so it's really, really fast doing that. So let's just preview this. So you can see that we have all the records over here. That's what we have. And some of these records are paid and some of these are not paid. Another thing that you want to do is that you want to sort this. If you click on the home screen, so you want to feature, so you can add a feature. You can add a feature. So you can say, you can show all the all the price. You can show you can just feature this list to only show the one that is reviewed. So year, recipe, you can find all the features here. You can just feature this. You can feature this where it is published, it's published. So you can really feature this to show the reading over here. I mean, to show the particular item that you want to show from Airtable. So that's the way you do it. And then we will create another screen and we will say meal details. Let's just create another screen, add another screen, and just call this meal details. Call this meal details. So when the user click on this, it should go to this other screen, and we will send the user to link to meal details screen. So that's what we'll do. So to take in the current menu, and then we will just put in an image over here, and this will be a database, and this will be a current recipe. I think this should be image URL. Yeah. Then we'll put in a text over here, and this will be the title, current recipe name, and this we can make this 20, and make this a bit bold. And then we will have the current recipe description over here. I have the current recipe description over here. Description, that's fine. And then we will have not the button, we'll have the heading here that says ingredients. So this will be ingredients. So this is a heading, this is an ingredient, this heading, so 20. It's called this semi-bold. So it's supposed to have direction, ingredients, and we'll take in another one here. We're taking another one here. This is going to be looking for an eye. This is going to be, this should be ingredients here. So this is the way this works. I'm pretty sure that you understand. So you want to group everything together. You want to group this together. You want to group this together. And you want to group all three together so it just makes sense for you. So if you preview this, it should make sense a bit. So I don't want to go deep into the entire I want to go deep into the entire UX, so you can see it's taking shape bit by bit. But I don't want to go into the entire UX because that's not what this lesson is all about. So instead, I want to show you how the subscription itself will work. So one thing I also didn't tell you is that you're going to be using Stripe. That's something I didn't tell you. Is you're going to be using Stripe for the subscription. That's what you're going to be using. So if you don't have a Stripe account, you can get one. It's pretty straightforward to begin with. So you're going to need your Stripe API. That's what you're going to need. Test mode. So you need to use the test mode for the API, and then first, you'd have to come back here and create a product. Switch your dashboard to the test mode, create a product. You just create a product over here, and there's a simple product. Then you copy ID. Yeah, you copy ID. You copy your keys. That's majorly what you have to do. But let me show you the logic. So that part is pretty straightforward. Let me show you the logic. So if you come here, you would have to put an empty screen. So put an empty screen in between. You put an empty screen. So this will be your conditional visibility. This will be conditional visibility. So for context, we're going to put it in between. We're going to put it here. Conditional visibility. We're going to put it right here. And then for this, we're just going to duplicate this. We're going to duplicate this, and this is going to be free. This is going to be free. And then, no. So we don't need this one. Let's just make this home. I think that's all we have to do here. Make it home. So this is going to be the home page, and then we would have another page. This is going to be payment. So this is where we would tell the user to make a payment. So this is just going to be a test, mostly. I'm saying you have to subscribe to to access this page. This is going to be some sort of a payment like so, and then we'll put like 20 here, and then this is going to be in the middle, and then we'll add a button. So you add a button for payment, and then we'll add a first button for payment, and then we'll duplicate this. Let's say go back home. This is just something simple, and this is going to be an outline. This is going to be pay now. Of course, you'd have to tell them the price. You have to tell them the price. This is how much you're paying right there. You have to tell them the price, which is something that you have to do. See here, we're saying go back home. So this is where the logic will come into play. This is where the logic will come into play. And then you want to say, if a person click on this, so this is the first thing. So if the person clicks on this, the person wants to go to this meal page, right? So no, you don't want to do that. You want to make it a bit conditional. So you want to say, if I click on this, and you want to say sometimes, like sometimes, you want to say sometimes, and you want to say if the logged in user, if the current mail, not the logged in user, forgive me. I think it's really hot in here. So let's just make this always. Let's turn it back to sometimes. Let's go back to the price. If the price option is equal to free, then go directly here, right? If the price option is equal to free, I want you to go directly here. Then then let's do another one. So let's link to the conditional visibility page. So we'll say sometimes if the price option is equal to paid, then you want to link to this conditional visibility screen. And then when they get to this conditional visibility, from here to this conditional visibility, you want to say no transition. So it doesn't look like they're going there. You want to say no transition. And then when you get to this conditional visibility page, you want to add an action. You would say when a user visits the screen, want to the more details page, and you would say sometimes. And for the action, say none. You want to say sometimes if the logged in user, if the not always. Let's go back to sometimes. We want to say if the current logged in user subscribed is true. So we want them to go here. But then want to link again to the payment page. And this one, we can slide up if we want to. We want to say sometimes. We want to say if the logged in user subscribe is false. So if this person is not subscribed, we want to go to the payment button, the payment page, and if it's true, we want to go here. And then what you want to do next is to click here, just click here, and this is going to be the Stripe payment. It's going to be the Stripe payment, and then you put the Stripe subscription button here. So this can be a model if you want to. So the part that I'm interested in showing you is after the subscription. So when the user make the payment, the action that you want to do, you want to update. So you want to update the logged in user and change the subscription to true. So this subscriber is going to be true when you subscribe. So it's just going to be true when the person make payment. After making payment, it's going to be true. Don't worry about the other part. If the person does not make subscribe, it's just going to resubscribe to false. I think so by Adalo. So that person will not be able to access your stuff anymore. So if we go back to our user, we click on our user here, and we can see that the default here is force you're doing. So if you're able to do all this, I think it's going to be really straightforward. So time will not allow me to show you every of this, every of this thing here. This is just a simple lesson, and we're already 40 minutes gone. And I just want to show you how this works. So let's go to our preview. Let's go to our preview, and now you're logged in, and that is not. So we'll click on this. I think this is free. So this is free right now. Oh, there's no back button. So if we click on this, so this should take us to, you can see it evaluated the condition. And if we click on pay now, it should take us to the other page where we are able to make, we're able to make payment. So that's basically how you create a subscription application with Adalo. So if you basically want to get the template so you don't have to start from scratch, feel free to click on the link below, and I'll give you the template willingly when you join my community ASAP. So that's the way you do it. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me online, and I'll definitely answer your question and give you all the helping hand you'll desire. Thank you very much.